What's up, fam? It's your girl, Mrs. Tony Two Times, and I'm back with another video. In this episode of Hood Tales, I'll be taking it to Largo, Florida, to discuss the tragic case of Abrielle Baldwin, a young mother who lost her life after intervening in a fight about Christmas presents between her two teenage brothers. But before we get into this video, welcome if this is your first time on our channel, and welcome back to all of our subscribers. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do and join the Tony Two Times family. Click that notification bell to get notified on future uploads, and if you're rocking with the content, hit that like button. Likes are absolutely free and it helps our channel to grow. Also, if you'd like to help us grow by donating financially, please take a look at the information in the description box below. And we also have new merch. The link is also available down below. Either way you choose to support the channel, we appreciate you so much. All right, without further delay, let's jump right into it. Christmas time and the holiday season is a time that's meant to be spent with your family and loved ones if you're fortunate to be surrounded by people who you love, and vice versa. For some, it can be a pretty tough time to get through, especially if they have experienced a loss. And then there's those who don't celebrate the season at all. But for the ones who do and look forward to gathering with their family, it's supposed to be an occasion that brings everyone together. With all the hustle and bustle of buying gifts, decorating, and cooking Christmas dinner, there's nothing like seeing it all come together. Although sometimes exhausting, it can be all worth it in the end. For some, it's the joy of seeing everyone's eyes light up as they open their gifts, especially the children. For a mother and her children in Florida, they were preparing to do just that. On Christmas Eve, she and her family were Christmas shopping in Largo, which is 20 miles west of Tampa. However, during the shopping trip, her teenage sons, 14 and 15, argued over who was receiving more gifts this year while in the store. The family left. The argument continued when the family returned to their grandmother's home. The family had gone there so the grandmother could babysit their older sister Abrielle's two kids, a baby boy and her 6-year-old son, while Abrielle went to work. As the argument between the brothers went on, the younger brother, DeMarcus Coley, who was upset that his brother was getting more gifts than him, pulled out a .40 caliber and aimed it at his brother, Darcus Coley, and told him he was going to shoot him in the head. The older brother said he didn't want to fight and told his brother to get out of the house. The brothers were separated by one of their uncles, who moved his 14-year-old nephew outside to the driveway area where Abrielle was with her baby, who was in a carrier. Once they got outside, their big sister Abrielle tried to intervene, telling her brothers to stop fighting over gifts. From the audio from a neighbor's camera, she told DeMarcus, "You all need to leave that stuff alone. Why are you trying to start it? It's Christmas." DeMarcus yelled and called her derogatory names and told her he was going to shoot her and her baby, before firing and striking her in the chest while she was holding her 11-month-old son. Abrielle and her baby fell to the ground. 15-year-old Darcus then came outside, pulled out a .45 semi-automatic while saying to his brother, "You shot my MFing sister," and fired at his brother, striking him in the stomach in retaliation. Darcus left the scene right after and tossed his weapon into a nearby yard. Abrielle's son was not injured. Law enforcement said surveillance captured audio that showed there was an 8-second gap between the time DeMarcus fired at his sister and before he himself was struck. At the time he was hit, He was no longer in possession of his weapon. Abrielle was rushed to the hospital where she sadly passed away. DeMarcus was wounded but in stable condition. The tragic incident had taken place around 1:45 p.m. local time. Darcus fled to a relative's house in Clearwater where he contacted his mother. He was later arrested and transported to a mental health facility due to statements he made about ending it all for himself. Once he is released from the facility, he'll be transferred to the custody of the Pinellas Juvenile Center. He is charged with attempted first-degree hit and tampering with evidence. DeMarcus is expected to be released from the hospital in about a week. He'll also be taken to the Juvenile Detention Center. He is charged with first-degree hit, and being a minor in possession of a firearm. The state's attorney's office will review the case to see if DeMarcus will be charged as an adult. Law enforcement still hasn't been able to find the weapon Darcus allegedly used. 23-year-old Abrielle was affectionately known as Bree. She was living life, working hard to make a way for herself and her two children. One article said Abrielle worked at Largo Medical Center as a server. Abrielle and her two children lived in Osmar with her mother and two brothers. Abrielle had a close-knit relationship with her siblings. Abrielle was described as a really sweet person by her 21-year-old sister, Ariana Birch. She said Abrielle was just special. Ariana said she is heartbroken that she has lost not one, but three of her siblings. Their mother said she's still trying to process it all. Both Darcus and DeMarcus have prior arrest histories for numerous car burglaries in May 2023. The younger brother, DeMarcus, has an arrest dating back to when he was just 12 years old. They both have also had issues with school staff and law enforcement officials. They were well known to police. DeMarcus is seen flashing the weapon online just hours before the incident. According to people that law enforcement interviewed, the teens carried weapons with them all the time. Investigators believe the weapons were taken during a car burglary, but still working on finding out if that's the case. The family told reporters they were unable to visit DeMarcus in the hospital, but wanted him to know that they didn't think he was a horrible person, but wants him to get the help that he needs. Both DeMarcus and Darcus are innocent until proven guilty. May Abrielle rest in peace. My condolences to the entire family. This is such a horrible tragedy to have happened to this family during this time of year. This would unfortunately be with them for the rest of their lives during this time of year. And Abrielle's gone, and her boys are without their mother. I have so much to say about this case. It's scary that the younger generation seems to make everyone their opposition, even their own family members. As Tony Two Times and I discussed this situation, he mentioned mental health and the possibility of some unknown issues within the family. I believe that may be true. These two young men, especially the younger one, clearly have issues regulating their problems and emotions. I can expect a spat between little kids on who got the most gifts. That's what kids do. And that's why most people don't believe in the consumerism that comes with Christmas. But for this situation to have escalated the way it did between teenagers is unbelievable. The teenage and young adult generation today are so quick to pick up that GUN. It's like a toy or something to them. It's like they're living in a virtual reality, unaware of the consequences of their actions. They flash it around on the internet as if it's not capable of doing irreversible damage. And the real question to ask is, who is to blame? Is it the parents, society, or both? These are still children at the end of the day. And at 14 and 15, you're barely a teenager. You're just getting into your teenage years. in my humble opinion, important because sometimes, even after falling astray, they can find their way back with guidance. The trail of destruction that has plagued the younger generation and even the ones before them seems to only get worse, especially for the ones who are trying to be something that they are not, or the ones trying to prove themselves, which is typical for teenagers, but some take it to a whole other level. I don't know if things will ever change, but with God, all things are possible. Fam, tell me your thoughts on this in the comments below. All right, fam, that's it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching and making it to the end. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. This is your girl, Mrs. Tony 2 Times, and I'm out.